Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel, Reading with Janelle. I uploaded my first video like maybe 5 months ago, and I low-key forgot that I had this channel until one of my mutuals on Bookstagram, like Reading with Casey, shared her channel. I'm like, oh yeah, like I have one, but I digress. But welcome back. I plan to be more active here. And in today's video, I'm just going to go straight into it. In today's video, we'll be talking about my 2022 5-star read. Now in 2022, I read 122 books, and out of that I only have 16 5-star reads. Now most of my 5-star reads, I must say, Adeline Winter is responsible for at least a quarter. I hope you guys did not hear that. That was my stomach. At least for a quarter of my 5-star reads from 2022, and I must thank her. Her work is mainly like fantasy, paranormal, and dystopian stuff. So yeah, the first book by her that I gave 5-star was Surrendering Hope, and the next one was Surviving Hope. Now I'm just going to talk about these two together because it's a part of the same series, and that series is the Hope Legacy series. And it follows Natia, who is the heroine of the story. She's some sort of elemental witch or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a minute. Like, I read this early 2022, like January 2022, so I can't really remember anything. And if it's one thing about me, I will forget the plot of a book that I read, but I won't forget how I felt. I won't forget how the book made me feel. But yeah, so sorry, I have my notes right here, so if you see me looking down, that's why. But she is also an elemental and basically the defender of humankind, and she's a part of this organization that defends Earth from the underworld. For me, I really enjoyed it, and like the playlist that the author had for this book, like every chapter had its own song, and it was just so on point. So I really loved that. It kind of enhanced the experience of reading the book, especially like between the battle scenes, like the music on point. Adeline did not miss. The author did not miss. So if you're into fantasy, a badass heroine, and a world of magic, then I recommend the Hope Legacy series by Adeline Winter. The next book by her that I gave 5 stars is also a part of a series, and it's the Cora Roberts series, and the first 2 books are Whispers of the Dead and Shadows of the Soul. Again, it's fantasy, paranormal, supernatural, more paranormal and supernatural than fantasy, I guess. Cora is, she's an elemental witch mixed with something. She's a hybrid of the sorts, I guess. I don't want to say much because that would just be spoiling it for you, but if you want, you can read the series. Again, badass heroine. This book also has like some sort of found family, and I guess the other book, I guess the last series had found family as well. But yeah, what was I saying? So it's about this elemental hybrid person, Cora. She also moonlights as a medical examiner / doctor for the supernatural, and they're living in a small town, I guess, and apparently her land is like the hub for everything supernatural because a lot of shit happens on that land. And I'm really bad at describing books to you guys. I think you can tell right now, like I didn't really make much notes for this one, so it is what it is. But I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. It has some sort of enemies to love or dislike to love or whatever you want to call it, but that's in there. They're like mythical creatures, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it to you guys. I honestly don't. The next book, I think this is the last book that I've read in 2022 by Adeline, that was also a 5-star, is We Shall Not Bow. We Shall Not Bow. And this is a new series by Adeline Winters, and it's called The Kingdom of Shattered Crowns and Shadowed Dreams. I'm not going to lie, that is a mouthful for a series name, but it's fantasy, dystopian. There's fays, wings are involved. Again, a strong heroine, a strong female character, and this one is definitely enemies to lovers. So if you're into that trope, this is the book for you. Fun fact, so in this series, I've been told by Adeline, because I made a reel and shared it on Instagram for the first series, because the male character did something to the female character, and what he did is that he tried to kill her. He tried to kill her, and homegirl quickly forgave it. And I'm like, no, but I'll insert the reel that I did. Idiot, yeah. And I was told that I was told by the author that there will be a lot of groveling in this series, The Kingdom of Shattered Crowns and Shadowed Dreams, because I was not impressed that there was no groveling in the first series that I read by her. But I really hope in this one that there's a lot of groveling, because the male main character, he deserves to grovel after what he did. I'm not going to lie, he deserves a lot of groveling. He needs to do a lot of groveling for what he did. But it's kind of this, how can I put it? So this one, like, I really enjoyed it because it's kind of set in this kingdom, and the female main character, I don't remember her name, honestly don't remember her name, but she's a part of like this rebellion group. She's like one of the top dogs, whatever, and they're out doing something, and something got wrong. They got captured by the enemy being her a love interest. But something's going on the enemy side, and the enemy realized there's something alright with them people here, so he's kind of you know, side eye. So he turns out and help the female main character, and some stuff starts going on with them. But then it turns out that the rebellion people, them, something not going right with them either, and that is how the two top dog from each side end up working together. And through working together, even though that they're enemies, you know, sparks fly. Discoveries are made, betrayal took place, and yes, but if you're someone who likes to just read the series in one go, on offer wait till the series finishes, because the first book in this series, We Shall Not Bow, it ended on a cliffhanger, and I am patiently but also not patiently waiting for the second book, because I really want to know what is going to happen. Like, what is going to happen? How is this man going to grovel and beg for her forgiveness after what he did? Yeah, moving on, because I think I've talked way too long on that book. But honestly, Adeline Winters at the moment is one of my favorite fantasy authors. Fantasy, supernatural, paranormal, whatever you want class her books as, she's one of my favorite authors for that. The other book This is my sixth book this is book number 6 that I gave a 5-star. It was I Got You by Miss Je ne sais quoi. It's a book by a black author. It's black romance. It's messy, sort of, but in a good way. The guy falls first and falls hard. Honestly, my highlights for this book had me giggling. One of the highlights was, I remember, was when Jordana's mom, that's the heroine's name, Jordana's mom said, I hope you're being safe, or something along the lines, or can't be getting your back blown out and not being safe. And I'm like, clutches pearl. Like, imagine if my mother told me that. Like, what the hell? I would be lost for words. When I read that, I was too stunned to speak. And Miss Je ne sais quoi has a way with words. Like, her scenes are quite, yeah. And the men in her books, from what I've read so far, they have a mouth on them. They have a piece of mouth on them. That's all I can say. But read the book for a good time. Read the book for all the feels. It's so, honestly, while reading it, I could picture everything because I could relate to it, and it was just a movie playing in my head at this point. It was a movie playing as I read the book. Book 7 is All Roads Leads Here by Mariana Zapata, and this one, it's Age Gap, Grumpy Sunshine, and Single Dad. Honestly, I don't remember what this book about. I think I don't even remember the name of the girl, but the heroine, the female main character, she basically went back to her hometown in a way, I guess, because she wasn't born there, but she grew up there until her mom went missing. Yeah, she just went back there, reconnected with old friends, made new friends, had a phone family, stuff like that. She had somewhat of a high life. She was living the high life, but she wasn't really enjoying it. And the man, what she did there with him, they just treat her bad. He treated her so badly. He treated her like, and she rented the house from this guy, but it turns out that it was his son that rented out the place, and he got in so much trouble for that because the son is like 16, 15, somewhere around that age, you know, a little boy, maybe younger, I'm not gonna lie, maybe younger. And yeah, so her neighbor slash landlord is a love interest. He's older, again, he's a single dad. The FMC, she had a lot of self-growth and self-discovery, and I like that for her. I'm going to stop now because I don't remember much, but I really like the male main character, the MMC. I really liked him. Like, he yeah. Book 8 is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, also by Mariana Zapata. Again, this is a Grumpy Sunshine book, boss slash employee relationship, and some sports romance. Is it considered a sports romance because the man is an American football player, athlete? So is it a sports romance? I think it's a sports romance, I guess. Yes, 5 stars. Again, I don't remember the people them name. I can barely remember the plot, but it was good. I think I'm going to just go off the top of my head here, but I think the female main character was the athlete's personal assistant or something like that, and she was just getting tired of him because he was so cold. He treated her as if she didn't exist, you know, like her existence didn't matter. That's how it came off to her, and she just got fed up with it, and she basically is sending her notice. And it was through her doing that, you know, he realized that he needed to show that he appreciated her, whatnot, blah blah blah. And I guess I don't know how, but the romance started. Also, I must say, Marion and Zapata books are slow burn. So the roads, all road leads here, and this one, the Wall of Winnipeg's, they were slow burns. I mean slow burn, I mean slow burn. Like, you can be 85% in and they haven't gotten together yet. You literally get 10% of the book, just their romance, just 10% of them being together. And I'm like, what the hell? And there's like not a second book to even show you how well they are together. None, just a really long slow burn. And her books are really long as well, like I'm talking 600 plus pages. So I recommend them, but if you're not really into long books, then I guess this is not for you. Book 9 was The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. And honestly, people, sometimes how I rate book is depending on how I'm feeling at the moment. And this book, I think one of the reasons why I got 5 stars was because of my mood at the time when I read it, like where I was mentally. And when I read it, you know, it sort of helped me a lot, because yeah, so I gave it 5 stars because it did what it did for me. This one's, the tropes are fake dating, professor slash grad student, it's woman in STEM, guy falls first, they both like each other but they don't know that the other like them or whatever, but I don't explain it to know. But basically what happened is that I don't remember, I honestly don't remember. She is a grad student and the man is a professor. I'm trying really hard to remember how this go, but really it's not happening. I can't remember how it go. Book 10 was His Summer Intern by Jessica. I'm sorry. His Summer Intern by Jessica Kane. People do not judge me for this one. Don't judge me for this one. But please don't judge me for this one. But this was the first book by Jessica Kane that I gave a 5 stars. And if you know of Jessica Kane books, you know that they're a bit out of pocket and side eye and a lot of things. Like, it makes you wonder. But this book, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's because both characters like were mentally in the head, and again, state of mind at the time of reading it. But I love that book. And nobody can tell me nothing. So this book, like all Jessica Kane books, the tropes are age gap, dub con, which is like dubious consent. So if you're not into that, do not read it. And I do recommend checking your trigger warnings for all the books that I've mentioned, because if something's not for you and you can read the book without reading the trigger warning, don't complain to me. Do not complain to me. But this one I really need to read the trigger warnings. I read the trigger warnings, please. I beg, read all trigger warnings. Breeding kink, ex-military man, daddy kink, I guess. And again, please don't judge me for this one, and please check all trigger warnings. Book 11 was Unexpected by Elizabeth Aton. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name right, but that book, the female main character, boy, she go through it. Remember her name? She went through it. But she's a waitress, and she just, you know, went to the bar attached to the hotel. You see, I keep forgetting the plot. She went to the bar that's attached at the hotel where she works, and she met this guy who turns out to be a rock star. He's a single dad. You know, they hooked up for the night. She left, blah blah blah. A couple months later, she found out that she's pregnant, yada yada yada. Found families involved, death of found families involved, people people, check your trigger warnings, because in this book the heroine just can't catch a break. She cannot catch a break. One of the main trigger warnings for this book is that child death, I guess, child death. I'm waiting on book 2 because it ended it ended with something I didn't see coming. So I'm waiting for book 2, and I'm patiently waiting for the author to announce the publishing date of book 2, and I don't know, we can't say nothing. I cannot see anything. Tricky Magic by L.L. Campbell. This is paranormal, supernatural, whatever, witch with a prince of the underworld. It has like LGBTQIA rep. Honestly, guys, do not come for me. I'm so sorry, but I'm just not up to date with the additional stuff that has been added to it, but it has that rep. It's multiple POV. I don't know, honestly I don't know how to explain this one, but shadow man, prince of the underworld, involve shadow in such activities. I honestly don't know how to explain it too, no, really and truly. I don't remember the plot well enough to explain, to give you a summary of this book. But moving on to book 13, we have 2 Weeks Notice by Whitney G. It's a office romance, boss slash employees and enemy to lover. I think this one is like the CEO of the company. Oh, where did that list come from? The CEO of the company, and is it his secretary? It's his secretary. I remember now, his secretary. What happened was the FMC, which is the secretary, she handed in her resignation, her 2 weeks notice, but she was drunk when she typed it. She was drunk when she typed it, so you can just imagine what was said in the resignation. Yeah, but I remember nothing else. But it's enemies to lovers, because she did not like him and he clearly did not like her, or he liked her but was just being a book 14 was Shortcake by Lucy Watson. Like some Toya on Instagram, never too many books, recommended me this book because it's like a rom-com. I don't remember the plot, I don't remember the name, but I just know that book had me laughing. Like it had me laughing. So the hero's grandmother left half her estate to the heroine because she was always there, you know, just taking care of her like in a lot of parts of her life. And I think the grandson, which is the love interest, he's wary of it because he thinks that the FMC tricked his grandmother into leaving half her estate to her, but that's not really happened. Like I think the grandmother just saw that, you know, she appreciated the help and comfort that the FMC offered, and she thought that she would have been a great fit for her grandson. So this lady is playing what do you call that, she's playing Cupid or matchmaker in the grave. That's what's happening. She's playing matchmaker from the dead. Book 15 was Gothikana by Rhodes. It's sort of like a murder mystery, paranormal, mental health threat, and dark academia, and also teacher student relationship. I don't know if I explained this to you. Again, I do not remember the plots of these books. I rarely remember plot of the books, but this was good and I really enjoyed it. And the 16th book is Business Casual by Daniel Allen. Now this book was on my TBR for the longest while, and I don't know why it took me so long to read it, because I enjoy Daniel Allen's book. I really enjoy her books. This one is also a black romance, also written by a black author. Office romance, well, a spice. So it's basically a contractor involved with, like, I think one of the owners or the owner's son for the company or something like that, you know, working in the office, blah blah blah. Let me tell you, everybody needs a tray. Everybody needs a tray. Everybody needs one. Is it tray, whatever I'm wanting, everybody needs one of him. And that is all my 5-star reads of 2022. Thank you for watching. I know I did a horrible job at giving a summary of these books, but again, bear with me because I forget plots, not feelings. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.